What's up, gentlemen? Chris here with Elite Level Leader, and welcome to the Battleground. In today's workout, I've got a 5-round full body dumbbell and body weight workout for you, and it's going to start off with 6 Renegade Rows. So I'm going to head back here. You're going to need 2 dumbbells to get this started. And first off, I'm just going to kind of go over it really quickly and tell you what it is, then I'll give you a couple tips on how to perform proper form and technique on this. So we're going to have these dumbbells down on the ground, and they're going to be about shoulder width apart. So from this position, you're going to go into a plank position, you're going to do a push-up, you're going to press out of that push-up, you're going to row the right side, you're going to row the left side to your hip, and then that completes 1 Renegade Row. So that 3-step movement is actually considered 1 Renegade Row. Now, a couple things I want to go over on this. First off, the dumbbells are shoulder width apart, because when you go into that push-up, I want to make sure that your elbows are in close to your sides. Also makes it easier to then pull that towards your hip. Now, a couple more things. When you typically go back into a plank, you would have your feet really close together. What I need you to do is when you go into that plank position, I want your feet to be wide, because what's going to happen is you have to shift your weight to the left and the right. So for example, if I needed to pull this left dumbbell off the ground, I have to go ahead and shift all my weight over to that right side. And if your feet are together, you'd really have a tough time engaging that core and keeping that everything stable there. So you shift to one side and you'd row up, and then you would shift to the left side and row the right one up. Another thing I want to make sure is when you're in this plank position that your shoulders, elbows, and wrists are all in a line here. When you go ahead and row, try your best to row back towards your hip, not up towards your side. So you're in this position, you go into a push-up, you press up, I shift my weight to my left, I row the right one to my hip, I shift my weight to the right, I row the left one to my hip. Down, press, row, row. I'll do one more. Down, press, row, and row. So that is the Renegade Rows, and you're just going to complete a total of 6 of that. So that 3-step movement for a total rep of 6 on that. Then we're just going to go into 18 bodyweight squats, or what's sometimes referred to as air squats. So make sure all your equipment's out of the way here, guys, and you want to start in a nice squat stance, which means your feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. Toes are pointed out slightly. Now you're keeping your chest up the entire time here, guys, and you're going to hinge at the hips. Knees are going to start to bend. As the knees bend and you sit back in that squat, keeping that chest up, knees should be tracking out over those toes. We don't want them caving in. You're going to go down to full depth, which means butt down below knee level, keeping that chest up, and then you're going to stand fully upright, opening up those hips at the top, all the way down, all the way up. So we're just doing 18 of these simple air squats or body weight squats. After you complete 18 of those, now we're going to go into 6 dumbbell thrusters. So I'm going to lighten up the load a little bit here on these dumbbells. So I'm going to grab these 2 dumbbells, set these off to the sides, and you're going to need another 2 dumbbells for this. Set these off to the side while I go over some of the proper form and movement on the dumbbell thruster. So the dumbbell thruster is a full body movement. You start with the dumbbells in a front rack position. You're going to go down into a squat, and then you're going to come up out of that squat, and as you come up out of that squat, you're going to press those dumbbells all the way up overhead. But this is a full body, and it's a very fluid movement. There should be no pausing at any point during the dumbbell thruster. So for example, I'm going to have these dumbbells up in this front rack position. Basically, palms are facing each other. We don't want them opened up too much here. So basically facing each other. You're going to go down into a squat. Now your weight is back in your heels because those dumbbells are going to pull you forward. From this position, you're just going to explode out of the ground, press to the floor, and press those dumbbells up. But when I was talking about it, it should be a nice fluid motion. What I don't want you to do is to go into a squat, stand up, pause with these dumbbells to this front, and then have to do a strict shoulder press. Also, I want you, as you come back down, I don't want you to bring them down, pause there, and then go into a squat. It needs to be a full fluid motion. You want to use the power and your strength of your lower body. As you're pressing up out of the ground, those dumbbells are going to want to leave your shoulders anyway. So you might as well start to push at the same time. And then as you're coming down, when you reach the bottom part of that squat, your dumbbells should be hitting your shoulders about the exact same time that you hit the bottom of the squat. And then as you stand up, your hips should open up about the same time your arms are fully extended. So go ahead, grab these 2 dumbbells here, get them up in this front rack position. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart, toes are tracking, pointed out slightly. I'm gonna bend at the knees, hinge at the hips, go into that squat, and then press up, push, then back down. So you see how nice and fluid this motion is. There's no pausing except for a second at the bottom of that squat and then just a second at the top there. So you're gonna go ahead and end up doing 6 of those dumbbell thrusters. Then we're just gonna go into 18 jumping jacks. All right, guys, and everyone pretty much knows what a jumping jack is. Keep your feet together, chest up, shoulders back, engage those lats. You're gonna go spread the legs out, touch the hands above the head, and then bring them back down to your hips. So there's 18 of these basic, good old jumping jacks that we all know how to do. All right, after you've done 18 of those jumping jacks, you're gonna go ahead and rest for 1 minute. That completes 1 round of this workout. And like I said, guys, we're gonna end up doing a total of 5 rounds today. All right, guys, that is the workout of the day. I will see you back here in the battleground for your next workout. And as always, to continue your training, be sure to visit EliteLevelLeader.com to check out all of our training programs and enlist today.